welcome or welcome back to the channel. So today's speed build is a palace in Oasis Springs. So this is actually a requested build, and honestly I was so excited when I got the request for this, because even though I have built a palace on this lot in Oasis Springs before, this one for some reason felt a little bit different. I think the other one that I did is probably more of like nobility house than maybe a palace. This one has like everything, you know, throne room, dungeon, memorial viewing thing in the basement, and yeah, I'm actually really proud of it. I think not to toot my own horn, but I think I did a pretty good job. So this uses quite a lot of the Courtyard Oasis kit items. I haven't actually done a build with these items yet, so I thought it was a good opportunity to use all of these items. I've gone with like a white, blue and gold color theme for this, which I think is really lovely. I like the kind of the freshness of it, and I get to use one of my favorite roof tiles too, which is always a plus. So this is on a 50 by 50 lot in Oasis Springs. This is the land grab lot, I think this is where they live. Normally I've like deleted all of the lots in my build file, so I'm not sure who lives where anymore, but yeah, this is one of the 50 by 50s. The other one is the park. I could have built there, but this one, I like the lighting and everything, and you can see like right over the cliff over the back, which I think is really lovely. The only issue that I have with these two lots is that they are partially obstructed. When like you upload to the gallery, the pictures aren't great. This one is partially obstructed by part of the house across the street and some of the trees, and then I'm pretty sure the park lot is even worse, and it's just like a tree. You can't see anything else. But I thought this was probably the better of the two anyway. So this has I think I've included 5 bedrooms with a potential of 2 more that I haven't decorated, because I thought, well, there's 2 rooms up at the top here. I thought, well, I'm not really sure whether to decorate them as bedrooms, because what I had in mind for up here was the royal suite. So it's a double floored room that is a bedroom. The 2 smaller octagonal rooms in the front are, one of them is the bathroom and the other one is like the dressing area, because I didn't want to clutter the bedroom area up with like dresses and things, because once you kind of see the layout of it, it's a bed up on a platform and it's very like open and just somewhere that I can imagine is very warm and breezy and just a really nice place to be. So I didn't want to clutter up with too much furniture, so I thought they'd probably have their own dressing room anyway if they are like a royal family, so that's what I have done. The 2 larger octagonal rooms at the back are the ones that I haven't decorated, but I had in mind as a bedroom. The only reason that I didn't decorate them or like furnish them is because I thought whoever wants to play in this build, maybe they want like a skill building room or something like that, maybe a nursery, I don't know. So I thought it's probably best that I leave them and then you can just decorate them however you wish. The 4 bedrooms on the middle floor have all got their own bathrooms. I thought this was probably the most appropriate, and the fact that it's such a big lot and the shell itself is actually quite large in terms of tile size, I thought it was probably a good use of space to give them all their own bathroom, and it just seemed appropriate, you know. There's quite a lot of space in the middle, kind of between the bedrooms on the second floor, that I thought one of them is probably like a lounge room that I have decorated it as, and the other one, it's got stairs and then doors into like the balcony at the front, so I've kind of decorated it as a lounge room as well, but you could probably put whatever you want in here really. I don't know, maybe you could turn the front into the lounge area where the stairs are, and then the bigger space at the back, maybe if you wanted like a bigger ballroom or something. I haven't really included one I did have in mind that the entryway would kind of serve as like a ballroom because I've put a bar and everything in there, but you know, it depends on your gameplay style. It might not work, you know. But anyway, this is the royal suite that I kind of had in mind for this one. As you can see, I have put the platform in this room, and then I really liked the look of these doors, even though they're archways, as just decorative pieces. So I sized up these windows just so that they fit really nicely in the archways, and I have done that pretty much everywhere because once I had done it once for here, I really just liked the look of it, so then I had to do it everywhere. I did have some trouble with the roof, not the roof trim, like the wall trim, and I'm not really sure why, but it kept on going on the inside of the room and not the outside. I did eventually manage to fix it, but it just meant that I had to like entirely delete the floor and then build kind of on what is essentially a roof instead of actually having a floor piece there. But it does work, so I'm really happy. There's quite a lot of like nice curtains and things. I've used a couple of items from the Jungle Adventure pack because I thought they kind of had the same sort of like color swatches in the concrete and those sort of more earthy tones. This fountain is actually from City Living, but the blue on it I really liked. And then I also use quite a lot of items from, I think it's the movie Hangout pack, the curtains, and there's like a couple of light fixtures and things that I thought really suited. The one I have just used here is actually from the Dine Out pack, because I really liked the fact that it was big enough that it could kind of go through 2 floors. I don't know whether the light actually travels through to the 2nd floor, so I have included quite a lot of lanterns and things everywhere. I really liked the gold swatch that they came in, so I've put them like all over the place. But I am doing quite a lot of, or will be doing quite a lot of decoration to the exterior of this build. I've used the, I think it's a concrete wall paint from the Jungle Adventure pack, this one that I'm using here, and I thought it just was nice contrast compared to the blue. I do kind of wish the blue tile matched the blue of these doors and the windows, but it's my favorite roof tile, so I'm not going to complain. I really like it. But yeah, because it's like plain concrete, there's not very much in terms of like decoration on it, whereas if you've got like a brick or a stone, it's quite interesting to look at, and I don't feel like you need that much decoration. But this one, it just looked a little bit plain, and even after I had put all of the columns and things on the corners, it still looked very plain. So I thought I would add quite a lot more decoration to it. So here I wanted to include like a little gazebo sort of area. I'm not really sure what you would use it for, if it, like, you know, to make it functional. I haven't decorated it, like, okay, not decorated, I haven't furnished it, because there's not really much space out there. Maybe you could put like an art easel or something. I think that might be cool. So in this big room here is actually the throne room. I wanted to have it as main part of the house or the castle, but when I started building this, so this is actually my 2nd attempt at this build. When I first started trying to build this lot, I included it in like the main building, and then everything was just way too symmetrical, and as much as the actual palace itself is very symmetrical, the lot was like just overpowering symmetrical. It was just way too much, so I wanted to change the shape of it slightly. And in doing so, I then kind of didn't have any space for the throne room because I'd made like the actual palace itself a lot smaller. So then I thought, well, it's probably a good opportunity to unbalance it slightly and keep it separate from the main building. And I'm actually really pleased with how this room turned out. It looks very, I don't know, just very regal to me. Once I've finished decorating and everything, I've used quite a lot of the platforms, and I've put like a little pool in there that obviously you can't build fountains into foundations. They have to be like on the floor, which is really annoying. So you do have to use a pool. So I am sorry if your Sims decide to go swimming in it, but I have given them a huge pool that they can swim in. Hopefully they will favour that one. Here I wanted to... I originally had this little gazebo place on stilts so that it was on like the same level as the first floor. But the foundations were just not lining up the way that I wanted them to, and they were just all over the place, and it just didn't... I didn't like the look of it. So this is actually on the second floor, and then I have lowered it down so that it kind of looks like the first floor, but it's not. But I think it looks really cool. And I have used the arches from the Courtyard Oasis kit and lowered them down with the tool mod to make them look like not stills, are they? What are they called? I don't know, I guess just call them pillars, to make it look like they are supporting the whole structure, which I think I much prefer the look of. I have used quite a lot of terrain tools in this build just for kind of decorative purposes. I haven't used them very much lately, if at all, and I wanted to use them again. And I really like the way that the terrain paint changes on this slot. So normally if you are building, say like in Willow Creek, it's quite grey kind of stone, whereas in Oasis Springs it's more of like a sandy colour, and I think it matches a lot more. So if you are doing this sort of thing and you don't perhaps need to worry about making everything like completely smooth, then you can just leave it, and I think it looks perfectly fine as it is without needing to like cover it up with terrain paint. So here I have put like a little pool pond sort of thing. I end up changing underneath the little gazebo area. I do keep the like the pond going all the way up to it, but I end up changing it to a waterfall because I wanted to use one and I haven't in a while. And I don't know, even though this is more of like a true, I don't know actually whether it is true to life or not, but I wanted to give it more of like a fantasy element to it because that's kind of my building style. I think just little hints here and there, and that kind of, to me, just gave it a little bit more of like my stamp on it. Just adding in some nice different decorative pieces from the debug menu. I haven't included the interior or the landscaping in the speed build, so if you would like to see any of those, then they will be in the tour at the end. I spent so long building this that I couldn't possibly include all of the footage in this video. It would have just been like 2 days long. So yeah, hopefully that's okay. But to be honest, you're not really missing that much. The landscaping in the end, I don't really have that much room to landscape, so I've just put like a whole bunch of rocks everywhere and covered it in, I'm pretty sure they're all base game plants. They're mostly the ones that you can see in the world around this lot. And I have also used some I think island living palm trees. They've got like some fairy lights wrapped around them that I thought was really lovely. So what I am trying to do here, once I had finished this build, I realized that I probably could have used the table from City Living because it's pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is the swatches aren't that great. They're very bright and colourful, and one of the specifications for this build was that it wasn't overly bright and colourful, so I thought it's probably a good idea that I didn't use them. But I wanted to extend this down into the ground, but the archways just weren't quite long enough, and thank goodness for Better Build Buy's delete feature delete feature or protection. I think it's deletion protection, because every single change that I made, as you can see, those arches are highlighting yellow and they would have deleted, and I don't think I had it in me to build this for a third time. So yeah, I'm really pleased. I mean, in the end I end up not using them anyway and deleting them, but you know, I was just pleased that whilst I was building this, I could quite happily, you know, make a couple of changes here and there with that feature on and then not delete and then turn it off again. There are a couple times that I had forgotten to turn it off and then I get like the system error warning, but you know, that's just me. So there were 2 packs that I haven't used in this, and that is, I think, Strangerville and Eco Lifestyle, because the person who requested this doesn't own those packs. I'm not sure if I have used lots of other packs or not. I haven't limited myself because I was only limited to those, not including those 2 packs, sorry, so I didn't really pay attention to what I was using from the other packs. The only thing that I think I would have included from probably Strangerville, I don't think Eco Lifestyle really is the right style for this build. The same with Strangerville, to be honest, but the only items that I did want to include that I didn't or couldn't were the floor stains from Strangerville. I wanted to include those in like the prison dungeon area that I have included. I did use a couple of the cracks from the vampires pack, but that is pretty much it from that pack, so I thought they were pretty nice. Oh, and the wall trim I've used from vampires too, the like larger ones. The smaller one I have used from Courtyard Oasis, and the other one is vampires, that's right. So like I said, in here I had in mind for the throne room, I thought it was nice to include the little, like, I wanted a fountain, but I've included a pool because that's the only one that I could use. But I have used the water swatch that's got like the little rose petals, I think, on. And then I've put a couple of fountain things in there because I thought they looked really cool too, just as like a lineup. And then I've used the same light that I used in like the bedroom on the very top floor in this one. I've also included a staircase onto the balcony that's like around the pool, and then I haven't included it, but right at the very end of me building this I realized that nobody could actually get up onto the second floor because I hadn't included a staircase. So I have put 2 staircases kind of where the ones that go down under the, like down to the basement, I've included them like on the other side of that platform, which I think it balances out really nicely. I did have trouble with these spandrels here. They would not do what I wanted them to do, and I kept on redrawing the room, and I don't know what was going on, but it wouldn't work. So in the end I just used these arches. I think they look fine as they were. I just wanted it to be a little bit more open than it is, but you know, I think it's fine. So in this room right back here is the kitchen. I really wanted this whole back wall just to be like completely open, so what I ended up doing is using this spandrel and these windows sized up from the Courtyard Oasis kit, and then I have used a half wall to kind of fill in the gap underneath to make it look like it's an entire wall, but it's not. So hopefully it's okay that I have done it this way. It just means that there's outdoor lighting in the kitchen, and I think there's the room on the second floor in the middle where the staircases are that lead to the top floor, that is also outdoor lighting because it's open to upstairs. So hopefully that's okay. I personally don't mind outdoor lighting on the inside of my builds if it's in the appropriate areas. The same with in this room, like in the throne room, I've used these doorways, arches, over the windows to give it a little bit more detail. Unfortunately, you can't put them over pools, so I had to do a little cheat and pull the pool away, put the arches on, and then pull the pool back. But it works, so I think that's fine. I did have the deletion protection toggle on, so I'm hoping that they won't delete. I have placed this lot down from the gallery a couple times and nothing seems to be missing. I have been kind of checking that more often lately because in the past, like especially, I have downloaded lots myself and then found that I'm missing a couple of items that should be in the lot, so I do like to check that, you know, they do download as I kind of upload them, if that makes sense. So here I have included an awful lot of detail on this room. In the end, I do change it ever so slightly because there was just way too many of these windows that I'd included. I don't include them as windows, I just think they look really nice as like just wall decoration, but in the end it was just a little bit too much. So I end up just deleting some of them and just leaving them as they are, because I think these arches and the windows and the columns, I think they have probably more than enough detail on that I've like completely covered the wall. So I think they look really nice as they are. So finally, I am adding all of the details to the main palace building. I add these columns all the way around on every single corner. And then I do very similar things as I did with the throne room, with the windows on the larger wall sides. And I also include quite a lot of the jungle adventure windows on like the smaller areas. I have left quite a few wall pieces completely bare, and then I've ended up putting some really nice gold lanterns from the Courtyard Oasis kit on. They're quite big, and I thought that they kind of deserved their own like showcase, if I can call it that. I didn't want them to be like overly cluttered with too much detail, so I thought that it would be really nice for them just to have their own kind of wall space. So as you can see right there, I then had to like redo that. My computer did crash whilst I was building this. Luckily I had saved it. I'm learning. I'm learning, but you know, I did lose like a couple of pieces, which it wasn't, you know, a huge thing. It was just I think it was that, and then maybe like a couple of pillars or something, windows maybe. But yeah, I'm doing the same thing with these windows, which I really like the look of. They let in so much light, and especially at nighttime, I think this lot kind of just lights up really lovely. So yeah, I'm just using these windows from Jungle Adventure here. These I think are actually the bathrooms in the end, so I didn't want to include like a massive open window, but I wanted it to kind of keep the same sort of style as the rest of the build, and I think I achieved that. I think they look pretty good. But we are coming to the end of today's video, so thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you have enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think. The build is on the gallery. My ID is AriaFaeYT. You can find all of the information in the description below. The tray files are also on Tumblr if you would prefer to download it that way. So yeah, I really hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone!